of these nicely restored wooden houses. And there are also a couple of sleeping beauties on the left-hand side, as we call them. So hopefully they will be renovated. We will come back here, they will have a chance to take pictures. So mermaid depicts an angel with a cross blessing people who set out to the sea.
Here's the amphitheater. There were over 30,000 people perform on the stage at one time. Of course, it's raining. First thought we had was really raining. It's in here. So what brings you out of town there, Mr. Tourist?
Mr. Archie.
Mrs. Tourist? Mr. Archie. Can't stop without having a souvenir stand. Only one out here. You can see it raining and the camera raining pretty good. That's enough.
Upper part of Tallinn, it's called our Castle Square. The castle is behind our backs. You can't see the Danish castle, but you can see 300 years ago built residence of the local Russian and did not see any sign of Russian power. Estonia had been for 200 years a member of Russian Empire, but there was no sign of Russian power, Russian Orthodox Church, or anything at all. So he decided to have a church built on the hill, well visible from all over the town, so which was built.
Slack.
Lower town inside the wall, which was a Hanseatic town, and according to the rights of Hansa, was independent. So whenever the relations between two towns were bad, Lower town did not open the gates, and the German nobility could not get out of the fort. They were cut off like bookmark or an album. Very popular, very clever box on different sides for tours. Earrings, larger ones are used for photos or even yarn.
Okay, this is the beginning of the Market Street, market area, just to say. We've got a lot of flower shops down here, you can tell. You have to be careful where I walk. I'm going to take a picture. We've just been down this way, and now we're going to head back to the shuttle bus. That's part of the shopping district of it. So we had lunch down there today. So, very busy for Saturday. Pictures of some flowers here. Very good distance around here. Very flat. You have to be careful. There's one of the pickpockets they say. I think I said you have to be careful about people rubbing up against you, as they said, very tightly. I think it's because it's gay. We'll be heading back towards the shuttle that way. Tennessee's and Penny can have a bookstore we went to earlier. Like everywhere we go to, every town, there's always cobblestones and like bricks. You get used to walking on them after a while. So let's take pictures of it. One day, Burger King, McDonald's. We'll walk up here and show you the current day. As of right now, the exchange rate is somewhere here. No, it's not. In fact, this is what they consider ground zero as far as the center of the town. This is everything that's marked by this sun and this building, which is a hotel. Hotel Zero, which they consider the center landmark for all their directions are off of that building. There's our shuttle bus stop. So we'll take some pictures later, but that's about all we want to do with Holland. Not a lot. Here it is, almost 7 o'clock in the morning. Europe time, which is 1 o'clock at home. We're just now pulling into, I guess it's Rostock, Germany. You can tell it's not much, but it's, we're going to call home for today. Today brings another day of wishing we were home, but we're enjoying the wonderful sights. So we're going to be heading into Berlin today, which is about a 3-hour drive. So we'll take more pictures on the way.
Berliner Cathedral, I will come to you again. I will join you. So, and the prayer, yes, I know. So, yes, and I wish you all a wonderful lunch, and we see us back in the afternoon. Enjoy the day.
For you, it must be much worse than for us. But that's what I wanted to express at first. Our sympathy, you know, whole Germany is on your side and will help you. And you... Yeah, of course. But we also had to be thankful for your help in all the years before, you know, that started with the airlift and all these things. You gave to Germany, and so now it is our turn to say thank you or to help you. Yeah, and straight ahead. Yeah, I must sit down now. Many park areas in the inner city, large forests on the outskirts, many waterways. We have just crossed the canal. Many rivers and lakes. About 40% of the whole area of Berlin are covered with greenery. And so Berlin is one of the greenest capitals in Europe. Don't worry, we don't come back to the Autobahn, to the highway here. We only touch it for a moment and then we will leave it to come into the city and to see. It is one of the altogether 10 canals we have in Berlin. 10 canals, 2 tributary rivers. And the main river that goes through Berlin is the river Spree. And that river Spree, at the end of the tour I will ask you if you know the name. If not, then you have to stay here. But but you will have some exercise with me all day long. We'll meet the Charlottenburg Palace. And that was used to be a summer residence when it was built, and it was far outside Berlin. Berlin was in the way where the historic town borders, and behind there was the old Berlin. And the Charlottenburg Palace today is a museum. It was completed in the 18th century as a real palace. Now it's about 500 meters long, a very big mile to Berlin, a Prussian mile, and that is 7.5 kilometers, 5 American miles. So far away from Berlin was the Palace Charlottenburg. And now please look right. This is the, and in the afternoon we will stop here that you can get out and can walk to the palace and can take pictures. But it's not just we have in Berlin. Before that was built, Berlin was on place 13. Today it is on place 5 under the convention cities in Europe. Yeah, that statue. Oh, ma'am, you're asking me what is that for a statue? This is modern art. Modern art. The name of the sculpture is Ekbatane. A man is building his town. That's the expression. But we also were very we were wondering a lot about that sculpture, and we were asking who should it be, what does it mean, and we found an answer. Some patients, when we turn around, you see them from the left, Kong on the loo, on the toilet. And now you know which kind of nicknames we've...
Going to the exhibition hall, the story of Berlin. It's a few of the things. You see these all around the street. These bears and stuff. Cafe. You got walking signs, taking pictures.
Yeah, it's hard to sit for.
So what you can see here, this is the written wall at the end. That means in that way it was built in the 70s. Concrete with steel inside, you see, 11 to 12 feet high. On top the concrete pipe that you couldn't hold it in your hand, you were sliding down. And painted with the graffitis, but painted only from the west side. From east, it was never allowed to paint the wall. That means we have to look to the wall from the west. And this is an original. And they opened already the safety curtain to us. And many people has painted. This lady has painted the sky. But they said, nothing happened. Finally, it was open. By the way, all over there also descriptions in English. If you want to know some more or something else, you can also have a look. Okay, hope you can all hear that. Yeah, this is the city train. It was. Don't city train, don't get on.
About 160,000 Jewish people lived in Berlin. Then many people emigrated, many Jews emigrated to America. Others, about 55%, were deported to concentration camps and murdered there, and only 7,000 survived here in Berlin. And today we have again about 30,000. And the Jewish community becomes strong in America. We don't know what will happen next. What will be next? What will be the next destination? And I think that's why. So here we are. Here we are. Also now you can leave things in the bus. Oh, now I found what I was looking for. All what you will get on the buffet: vegetables, potatoes, red berry jello with vanilla sauce, salad of fresh fruits, variation of mousse, delicious. Ice water will be on the table.
Coke and E, the Coke 2. Back in the corner over there. Fashionably late. So here's some of the food over here. I'm going to be eating today. You see me at the distributor. Okay. Let's go back to the table. In a hotel, Frankfurt Hotel in Germany. We'll film more later. One of the coolest looking hard rocks I've seen so far in Berlin, Germany. There it is. Car hanging out the Cadillac. Show you the street with me. Not much of a street, a little side street. He was up the road way up there. And on up to there. Yes. I'm going to stop in front of it. There's one of those little dinky cars all over the place. Take more later. Inside the hard rock. Black. Taxi dude there. So he'd look at this car. Now he's pedaling this taxi. I'm gonna look at this car. It's one of the common cars here. It's got stamps all over it. Where the stamps all is. It's been a very good conversation piece in the last couple of minutes. Watch this here and people put stamps on it.
Us, what a question. The next building on the right, this is the old Italian embassy. You see also that is under reconstruction. It was also a building from the 30s, and now it will be restored or reconstructed to be the seat of the Italian embassy. The most embassies were located all around the Tiergarten, outside the historic town walls. The red building on the right is the Indian embassy. That sandstone was brought from Rajasthan, India to Berlin. The white building is the seat of the county Baden-Württemberg. This is one of the German counties. They also have their seats in the capital. And the green building on the right, the Embassy of Austria, the Austrian embassy. Right in the side street behind the Austrian embassy, the Embassy of Egypt. That means all the countries come here to Berlin, and most of them built new embassies. Till now it was a question of security that they didn't start yet. I think just now we can understand why that is a problem for your government. And so I will show you the second seat of the American embassy. This is the former East Berlin embassy. And we'll pass that embassy on our way. But later, not yet. With the green cube on top, to that glass building with the exciting rooftop, all that is brand new and was built after the unification. On the left, all built out of glass. This is the Sony Center, the headquarters of the Sony company here in Europe. And from the red high-rise building to that one with the green cube, this is the so-called Daimler City. Daimler City, I think it's not overdone. That company, Daimler Chrysler, they built 19 buildings along 11 streets. And so this is a brand new quarter that came up. And this is what we call the New Berlin, because it is just in the heart of Berlin. And it is like a bridge to connect West Berlin behind us and East Berlin in front of us. And finally to East.
Between those two buildings, wall.
And Heinz Rühmann, and all that left and right, totally new. Here was really nothing. Nothing else was here, because just in front of us, about from here 50 meters away, there was the wall. You will see where the wall went, because in the street there is a strip, 2 rows of stones paved into the asphalt. And that strip shows us where the wall went. But in the old Berlin, before World War II, this Potsdamer Platz was the most congested junction in Europe. And I don't know if you still remember that traffic light here on the right, the little green tower. This was the first one in whole Europe that was set up here in 1924. Now we are just standing to see that goes along the street, these 2 rows of stones paved into the asphalt. Here on the left you can see that very good. And on the right it is only a little bit to be seen in these stones. But if you want to take a picture, don't worry, you will see that again. We'll follow that strip now. We will follow that strip. That means we come to the no man's land. It is that area. Look left. Can you see that over there? It is one of the 3 original guarding towers still standing, and it was next to the no man's land. We moved so slowly after the tree, and now it comes. And here left down, another part of the wall still standing, the inner wall. It is painted. Of course, it was painted after the unification. Now this is the best point to take a picture of the guarding tower on the left. And of the little part of the wall still standing here.
Oh, there it
All
is.
these paintings
Right
were
here.
painted after the unification. You remember the original wall in the
Original part of the
museum.
wall.
You see the height, you see the paintings, you see the pipe on top. And for those who are sitting on the right, see that strip here right-hand side. These 2 rows of stones under the cars, paved into the asphalt. That strip makes a curve, as we do. That means we will follow that no man's land strip, that border strip. Here in front of us, it makes a curve, as we do.
Oh, I see it right there.
Indeed. The big grey building on the left belonged to East. This is the former Prussian parliament. And the red building on the right belonged to West Berlin. Between was the border, the no man's land strip. The red building is the Martin Gropius building, used for exhibitions. And the grey, the former Prussian parliament, is today the Berlin parliament, the seat of the Berlin parliament. And when we go on the right-hand side, you will see another original part of the wall still standing. And that is a part of the outer wall, the wall to West Berlin, you know. Here on the right. Behind there is an exhibition with the name Topography of the Terror,
Here it is, right here.
because just here on the right there was the Gestapo building with the Reichssicherheitshauptamt and
The
SS.
original part of the outer wall.
That part of the wall we will keep, but it's not so easy to keep the wall in Berlin. You know why? Because of the tourists. They come here with a hammer in the back to pick out a piece, and so you see it looks like a cheese of Switzerland. And that's why we had to build a fence around the wall to protect it from the tourists. The fence doesn't belong to the wall. It is new, you know. But if you see the wall, you see there are many holes inside. And that's why we had to build around the fence. And this is one of the parts of the wall still standing. There's still another part on another place in Berlin, but that is too far outside. And so we have seen only these 2 parts. And when the wall is over here, you will see the strip again on the asphalt. That strip shows where we move on. You see the American flag,
Point Charlie.
the half height, I don't know how you call it. If the flag is not on top, it is half mast. Half mast. Thank you, Erdal. It was not allowed to stop you on the junction, but he did it. Erdal, this is our driver.
There's some more beautiful buildings in Germany. At a beer festival here. Can't you tell by the Lowenbrow trucks? We're gonna get back on the bus here in a minute. Front of it.
Foreign Ministry. All on the right, these two buildings on the right. In front of us on the left, where all the tents and the white balloons are, the red balloons are, this was the Palace Square, where the palace of the Hohenzollern kings was standing. Instead of the palace, they built the Palace of the Republic. It is the brown box here on the right. It's a very awful building. You see now some of the foundation stones on the right, that Chinese market. But on the left-hand side, this is Berlin Cathedral. Berlin Cathedral looks older than it is. It was built in 1905. That means it's no 100 years old. It looks old because of the architecture.
When he holds his speeches, this was in
Inside the cathedral. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that pipe organ. At the top of the dome. I know, isn't that some pipe organ?